Welcome back to REconnect, a podcast where I'll be interviewing small business owners, entrepreneurs, and many more as we connect, learn, and grow together. Join us as I interview Chris Chase, owner of MST Pub & Grub and MST Sauce Company, on today's episode. Hey, Chris.
How are we doing today, man?
Doing all right, man. Pleasure to have you on the podcast today. Tell your story a little bit and how you got into business and some success stories, some failures, and just kind of tell the people a little bit how you got started into wanting to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so, my journey started back in '99 when I graduated high school. Ended up coming down here with a buddy of mine. Did a little soccer tryout at Tiffin University. Had no intention of coming down. I just was following in his footsteps. His brother played for Tiffin University.
Gotcha.
So I came down with him for a little tryout, played. Ended up liking it. You know, the guys offered me a scholarship to play soccer in college, and so I kind of jumped on it.
Okay.
Fast forward to 2003, after my 4 years of college, got an opportunity to get a grad assistant position.
Nice.
So I was able to get a free master's degree as long as I stayed and coached soccer, which was cool.
Okay.
But I found, I wasn't able to hang out with the guys or anything anymore because I was a coach.
Right.
Kind of a different role for me, so
it is.
Actually stumbled in here to Madison Street. My buddy's girlfriend was working here at the time. Ended up getting a job in 2004, bartending, during my master's. Really fell in love with the place, fell in love with the atmosphere, dealing with customers, slinging drinks,
Yeah.
So it was fun. And then I had the opportunity after I graduated to either go into the real world, get a real job. I did a couple internships at IMG in downtown Cleveland. They did the Cleveland Grand Prix, so I worked at Burke Lakefront Airport when they were doing the Grand Prix down there. I was the operations manager, so I ran the operations trailer, and basically everybody that came into the place had to come through me, so it was kind of a neat experience. Yeah. But they offered me a job as well, so I had a decision to make.
Right.
But I really wanted to start my entrepreneurial journey. So I decided to hop on this one, and so I was able to buy into it with the previous owner.
Okay.
So I was co-owner for about 3 years. Managed it first, really, and then he got into some financial trouble, and I was able to purchase it outright in 2009.
Okay.
So, through those first 4 or 5 years, we really saw a need for a change. Mm-hmm. The bar crowd was really going downhill. And we didn't do much food. We just did wing night on Tuesdays and Thursdays, really. Okay. We did wings and steak fries. That's how we started. But we saw a need in the community that we needed another place to eat.
Sure.
And we saw the diminishing bar crowd. So, in order for us to be successful, we had to change. Yeah. And that's when we decided to, when I finally bought it, I was able to start putting money back into the business, really trying to update restrooms and floors and ambiance and TVs and everything else. And then we were able to establish a menu. Okay. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes I made. My first menu was huge, probably, 100 different items. I just thought we could do everything, and it's just not profitable or feasible to do that.
Right.
So
probably made the kitchen a little busy.
Oh, it was tough. In the beginning, I was serving and cooking at the same time.
Okay.
That's how busy we were. We weren't very busy. Yeah. I had a group of regulars that still come into this day that actually stuck with me from the beginning. There was about 14 or 15 of them that came in every Tuesday night. So I would get them drinks, get their orders, go cook for them, get them refills while I had the wings down, then go back in the kitchen, sling up their wings, and then bring them out to us. And that's really how it started. So we progressed over the years into a different menu. Obviously, we've had about 12 different menus. So that's really how we've progressed over the years and really turned into what we are today. It was really that change in 2009 when we decided we really needed to open a restaurant as opposed to just a bar.
Right.
But we kept karaoke and late nights for a long time.
Yeah,
I
really, remember.
Really in the past 2 or 3 years. Actually, it's probably been about 4 years since we stopped karaoke altogether. But we've really made the full transition now to more of a restaurant with a bar as opposed to a bar with a restaurant. So that's kind of where we're at now.
I remember going to school and coming out at like 8 to get chunks and then just staying until like close pretty much.
Those were the good old days.
That's towers, and I think karaoke was literally like right here too, right?
Yeah, we used to have a stage right where we're sitting right now, and DJ booth to my right, and just as we grew and we needed more seats, it just it wasn't profitable to have karaoke in the evening. We just weren't. I was paying more than I was making.
For sure.
So obviously that was something that had to get cut.
Yeah.
And it was a great decision for us. I think now where we're at, we could have never done both things. It's really hard to turn a restaurant or bar into a restaurant and then vice versa the next day with being open till 2:33 in the morning. It's just a tough proposition. So we really like where we're at right now. I feel like I got a great crew. I think we got a great product, and it's really doing well for us now.
Definitely something that is like very well talked about and like known is that you're like always in the kitchen. You're always here, working. You're like a true leader.
I mean, that's one of the things I've learned.
A long way with not only your business, but also with the people that work under you and everything as well. Yeah,
I like to lead by example. I mean, it's always been that way for me. Even through my sports years, I was the captain of my team for 3 years in college. Right. I started all 4 years, which was nice. But, you really learn the leadership aspect of it, different ways. Yeah. For me, everybody's a little bit different. So, almost have to put a psychological hat on sometimes, because you're not always dealing with the same type of personality. Sure. So that's one of the things I've had to learn and continue to learn as we progress is that, not everybody's the same. So different people take differently to different leadership. Right. But I think the one constant that I've always had is the fact that I'm willing to work with the guys side by side. Absolutely. I'm not opposed to sweeping up a floor or cooking chicken or serving, whatever it may be, I'm always there. So, I hope that, it leads them by example, and I think so far it has. So
I think so too. I think, like I said, I'd hear it from friends and different community members. Like, how does this guy even have time to sit down with you to have a podcast? When I was telling everybody that we were gonna have a podcast, they're like, "When are you gonna do it? When does he have time?" And it's like, he just found time. I just looked at the restaurant schedule and I was like, Mondays seem to be like kind of the best day. And I was like, Monday coffee meeting, Monday podcast.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, you can always find a little bit of time for the stuff that you enjoy doing. Right. I really, enjoy what you're doing, and I'm happy to be on this podcast because I can at least share what we've been doing and our story, and hopefully lend some advice or at least something to somebody out there that's maybe trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to start a restaurant. It's not all easy. It took me 10 years before I was profitable. So, it's not a short stint. You have to really think about it as the long haul. The stuff you do today, you don't always see the instant gratification with it. It takes time. So as long as you keep pushing, and find your goals and, keep searching for ways to get better, then I think it's very rewarding in the end, but you just got to get to that point, and you got to get over a lot of hurdles. So
the entrepreneurial, like not the mindset, but kind of like the journey, like I feel in the beginning, people have like similar stages where there's like that fear of like failure. Am I going to make it? I think we were talking about like you were pulling like checks from like the quick cash place, to keep this place up and running. And it's like, you have to do whatever you have to do to like pursue your dreams. Yep. And now here we are sitting today. And I would say not only the business side of it, the restaurant side, but then we can get into like the sauce company, expanding your brand and getting into social media, and really you took just running a restaurant and then turned it into something even more as well.
Absolutely. I mean, that's always the goal, is to try to find more revenue generating activities that you can do. Once you get established as a brand, then it kind of opens the door to a few more things. Right. I'm huge on collaboration. That's why we always try to work with local vendors, local restaurants, to either carry our sauces or create products like our sauces and dry rubs. Yeah. We work with Ballreichs on chips. I have chocolate bars out. We have a lot of different things that we do to try to, keep everybody in the community together. I work with Big Mike's down there, my buddy Danny. He does our sauces and stuff, and that kind of stuff is really what makes it rewarding. If we can help other people along our own journey, then that's what it's all about for us.
When did you really like nail down the sauces?
The first 4 sauces took about a year before we got them right. Yeah. We always made the sauces in our kitchen, handmade. And, when we had the opportunity to get somebody to bottle them for us and sell them, it was a natural progression for us. But, that initial process did take a long time because we wanted them to be perfect. Since then we have 8 sauces out and a couple dry rubs. So, that process is really neat because, it's a back and forth with your co-packer, and then you have to worry about distribution and retail and trying to find people to sell it for you.
Right.
We're really trying to get into the commercial aspect where we're getting some restaurants to use it.
Okay.
We got some cool stuff coming out, another sauce and some smaller portion size cups that we can maybe try to get into some pizza places and stuff. So we're always looking for different stuff that we can do to get our brand out there, to get our sauces out there. So
for sure. You were mentioning to me that was kind of like a new step for you, trying to get into like different retail stores and actually to get people to
it's a completely different business. The big retail stores, the Krogers, the Walmarts, they're really difficult to get into unless you have a big name. And obviously you don't have a big name until you get your sauces out there. So, we were fortunate that a lot of our local partners, a lot of local stores were, welcomed us with open arms and said, you can sell your sauce in here.
Yeah.
So we've got about 40 locations now from, we got Perrysburg, Bucyrus, Crestline. We got a bunch of different ones. We picked up some Ace Hardware stores. So,
for sure.
We're starting to get our brand out there a little bit more. With the social media aspect, that obviously helps. Media is a lot different than it used to be. People don't do ads in newspapers anymore. Most of it is digital. And so we really tried to hop on that digital train now, and be more prevalent in the Facebook, the Instagram, TikTok kind of stuff. And that's really helped us grow our reach. So a lot of people are recognizing us all over the place. The Ballrex thing helped us a lot, where we, have some of our seasoning on their chips, and they have a pretty big distribution channel right now. So that really helped us get our brand out there into Michigan, Indiana, more of Ohio. We're going to start to get it into Kentucky and stuff now. So,
nice.
That's the kind of the ways you can build your brand.
Right.
But, it all takes time. And like I said,
a lot of hard
it's
work.
not easy. It's not easy. It's a lot of, putting boots on the ground and getting out there and getting your face in front of people, giving them
building
samples.
Those relationships. And,
it's all about relationship building, so that's what we've always been about, at least locally, and now we're starting to expand it out.
And that's a big key to REconnect as well. As you mentioned, collaboration. We talk about like collaboration is not competition. Working with other businesses to expand your own brand and get into different relationships and like you said, helping other entrepreneurs along the way fulfill their dreams and big on, building genuine human connection, relationships that last a long time. I think it speaks a lot more when you can actually build a relationship with a person than it's just like a transaction.
Absolutely.
And when I obviously been coming here for a long time, but when we actually like sat down and I heard a bit about your story and then doing a bit of my own research on like your website and stuff like that, it really seems like that is 100% your fit on how you grew your business, was just relationships with the local people, and then you just kind of build on
Absolutely.
top of
and I feel like that's how we're built here at the restaurant as well. I mean, that's what I preach to my servers and everybody that works here. It's more about creating relationships with people as opposed to them just coming in and grabbing some chicken and leaving. For us, we want to remember people's names. We want to go through their ups and downs in life. I want them to come here when something great happens. We obviously have people come here when something doesn't great happen, with funerals and such. So, but we've watched these kids grow up that have been coming in for 10 years, from the high school, and now they're in college, and then you see their successes, and then they come back and tell us about them. So, it really creates a cool vibe within our four walls here that, we're more of a family-oriented place anyway. But, to see these kids grow up and to see them be successful and then they come back and tell their stories to us, that comes full circle, that what we're doing is working, and that people really, resonate with us, that, we are a family and it's more than just the restaurant,
Absolutely. And to bring it back during the lovely time of COVID, because it is a hot topic that I tried to cover on REconnect in like a very brief explanation. What changes did you have to make to your restaurant? I mean, everybody across the nation, businesses pretty much went to a standstill immediately, and especially in the restaurant industry, you did some cool stuff to try to get through it.
I mean, that was originally when we started doing our sauces, because we definitely needed another revenue stream. More people were cooking at home. So we wanted to try to find a way that they could bring a taste of Madison Street home. This town was wonderful to us as far as the takeout aspect when we were able to do that. I mean, every night we just got bombarded with stuff. I mean, it was impossible to keep up. I mean, we started with 3 phones, and then after an hour we went down to 1 because we just couldn't keep up.
Right.
So that's a testament of the love that we got from the community. But when we started getting the sauces out, the retail stores were still open, so that was nice where we were able to, to get the sauces out there so people could grab some, chicken or make chicken at home and then use our sauce. So although they weren't able to come in, we still felt the love from everybody in that respect. So, that was the biggest change for us. Obviously we had to do some different things once we reopened with the masks and the partitions and the way we operated business. But overall, it really didn't change anything for us as far as how we operated. Yeah. It just was a difficult time because, in most restaurants and bars, you make your money on your alcohol. If the food margins aren't the best. So, that was what was really missing for us. But we were able to stay afloat because of the love we got from everybody. And, we hit the ground running as soon as we were open back up. So we didn't miss a beat. And, if anything, we learned how to be faster in the kitchen because, with all those to-go orders backing up, you really just had to buckle down and go as fast as you possibly could while keeping the consistency that we're known for. So I guess that was the biggest aspect of it. We learned we could do things a little faster and a little more efficient. So
and
that's
that
what we
translate over to like when everybody was able to come back in the restaurant?
Yeah, actually, I cut down the menu a little bit through COVID. We looked at it and saw what our top movers were, what our profitable items were. So we were able to look into that a little bit, and we cut it down so we were even more efficient when people came back in, because we know they'd come back in hordes, and we wanted to get people in and out the best as fast as possible for us and for them. So it was a good. I wouldn't say it was a great time, but it was definitely a learning process, and we learned a lot of stuff about ourselves and about what we could do a little bit better. And, in the restaurant business, you're always trying to get better and, learn some different things to make you more efficient. So
that's awesome to hear too. Like, even through a tough time, you guys, just went with it and got better at the same time,
Yeah, but there's no reason to get sad or upset about it. I mean, everybody was in the same boat, so we just tried to make the best out of the situation. I was able to keep most of my employees during that time too, which was great. Some of them decided that they didn't want to work during that time. They were a little, they had some elderly family members that they just didn't want to take that chance. But, I would say 80% of my folks stuck around, and we were able to give them enough hours to get through everything. So obviously with a little bit of help from different things, we made it through. So
what did you see, like, during COVID? Did you guys keep track of like how many orders? What was like your top order number at the end of the night?
I mean, typically we were doing, between 100 and 125 to-go orders any given night. We tried lunch for a little while and didn't really work all that well. So we tried to stick with more of a catering aspect for lunch, but again, a lot of people weren't getting into groups as much as they are now. So, you couldn't really push the catering so much because nobody was, there's nobody more than 5 people getting around each other. So it was.
And if they were, they had to stay 6 feet apart.
We had a couple cool nights where, our whole bar was just full of tickets, and we took some pictures. It was kind of neat to look back on what we had to deal with. And, it was just the whole bar full of tickets. And my guys were doing curbside service where they were running out there and trying to, get people in and out. And then, we were able to start doing to-go drinks there at the end, which was all right. I mean, not that many people did. If they were driving up here, we didn't want them to drive home with drinks per se. But,
for sure.
Everything worked out all right for us. So.
Nice, man. Yeah. And then was the MST Club started kind of post-COVID as well then?
Yeah, that's something we've only been doing for about 3 months. So, we talked about the digital and media age that we're in right now. And, I think one of the most important things is gathering customers' data.
Yep.
So when you gather customers' data, you get their email address and their birthdays and their cell phone number. So, if we haven't seen them in a while, we're able to reach back out to them and say, hey, why don't you come back in? We're offering, this MST Club where you get a free burger, free chicken chunks, some sauce and a rub, just for stopping back in and saying hello. Trying to cultivate those relationships a little bit more. So that's really what the club is all about, is just maybe people that haven't been in as much are starting to come back in and check us out. People that, some of our lost customers that haven't been in here in 4 or 5 years are starting to come back just to check it out and see what we've done.
Yeah, because it's different.
I feel like every year we do something a little bit different and update something, get it, a little more nice looking, I guess. So yeah, and we're continuing that process. You know, this winter we'll be redoing our kitchen a little bit while we're off during Christmas. So, you know, we always have little projects that we're trying to better ourselves. We're going to get a new facade a little bit. We got some signs and stuff going out to make it a little brighter. So, but yeah, with that MSD club again, it's more about, you know, nurturing the relationships that we have and then trying to find the ones that we lost that we maybe can get them back in here.
For sure. Is that actually, what it popped in my head on Facebook, I saw people like commenting on it. I was like, is this real? You know, like,
yeah.
Well, a little skepticism.
Sometimes when you give people free stuff, it's always like, okay, what's the catch? But there's really no catch at all. I mean, if you join the club, all you got to do is come in and, you know, redeem your burger, your loaded chicken chunks.
So the last time I was here, I did scan the QR code and sent messages through the Facebook Messenger. And then it was like, you know, next time you come in, grab your burger or chicken chunks.
Absolutely. And that's what we're trying to do. Just, you know, gather that data and get some more customers in here. And, you know, that's what our business is all about, just trying to grow. And
that's just another aspect of growing your business. You know, like there's not very many people that take in that information and do like newsletters or free chicken chunks or, you know, free promo, anything like that. And I think that adding that to your business really kind of takes it to the next level.
Well, it's hard for people to understand that, you know, sometimes if you give somebody something for free, you know, that maybe that first week your numbers are a little down, but you know, you got to take people over the course of a year. You know, if we get a couple people coming in and get a couple free things, if they end up coming back 10 times, that $10 burger is going to pay for itself tenfold for those 10 visits. So it's about looking beyond a week or a month. It's about looking in years and, you know, getting these customers to keep coming back and enjoying it, you know, over the course of a year. They're going to spend way more money than you're going to give them, you know, and those people tell numerous people, and it just mushrooms out, you know, in that respect. So, you know, we're still growing with the MST club. Like I said, it's still in its infant stage. We've only got about 3 months under our belt, but I mean, that's the idea behind those type of programs, is to get people in. So.
When did the Chicken Chunk Mafia, is there a story behind that?
Well, I'm a huge Mafia fan. I love all the Mafia movies. If you go into our restroom, it's all Mafia related theme. I don't know. I've always fell in love with the Mafia-related stuff, so the Chicken Chunk Mafia just kind of fell into place with that. Plus, we do, you know, 2,000 pounds of chicken a week, so it was kind of fitting that we're the Chicken Chunk Mafia, because we're slinging legal drugs, you know, getting people addicted to chicken as opposed to other stuff. So
that's funny.
That's kind of where that came from. But.
Gotcha. Hell yeah. I'd love to hear it. And then let's see. You're originally from Michigan, came down to Tiffin University, played soccer, and while you were at the university, you were slinging hot dogs to your college fellow students.
I started a hot dog cart because I saw a need for some food after the bars. So I was like the first one in Tiffin to have like a hot dog cart or something to eat after. So we actually had a place called Rock and Chases across the street where we opened late night after the bars. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we were open till like 4 or 5 in the morning. So we did like pizza and hot dogs and subs and all sorts of just fast, easy stuff that people wanted when they were done drinking. So actually my hot dog cart was originally before that. We started with the hot dog cart and then we progressed into a brick and mortar store for that. But it was just based out of a need that I thought was there. I was still working here a little bit, but I was able to do that on the weekends. So it was just kind of fun to learn that aspect of it too, and, you know, talk to the crowds. And again, things have changed now, so like the crowd, the late night crowd's really, just not the same anymore. So I don't think that business plan would work anymore. But
for sure.
It was cool to dive into that food industry before I was actually buying this. So it was kind of like a case study for me. Like, hey, what worked, what didn't work? How are we going to interact with people and stuff? So, you know, I kind of got a crash course before I had to dive right in. I mean, it didn't really help in the beginning. It helped a little bit, but as far as the financial aspect of it, it didn't help all that much. But, you know, you still had to learn and find ways to survive.
But on the experience
side. The experience side was still a lot of fun, you know, dealing with the local health department and different stuff, taxes and stuff like that. You kind of got to know the ins and outs of it.
And like you said, the town, the late night, you know, even when I was in college, I would say like the late night crowd was different. It's mostly college students, and then usually they would just go back home or, you know, like usually it's class the next day or something.
Sure,
So
sure.
you can't stay out too late. But there was a few other establishments that were open, 24/7 for food and stuff like that. But I don't even think they do that anymore. And just like you said, the late night crowd just isn't in the town as much as it used to be.
No, I mean, you even notice, like, after COVID, Kroger's not open past 10 and
Right.
Walmart's not open past 10. A lot of them
Yeah.
made those changes because they looked at their numbers like, hey, we're not making any money during this time. What's
Right.
the point of being open?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think that's one of the things that did come from COVID is a lot of different schedules and people learning that they can do stuff from home or,
Yep.
That kind of
A lot of
stuff.
stuff
So
you can do from
home.
home.
Yeah, a lot of different stuff. So,
Yeah.
like I said, that probably wouldn't work so much anymore. I know we have one guy in town that does it a little bit, and I think he
Right.
does okay, but just the crowd isn't there like
Yeah.
it used to be for us. So.
For sure. And then can you speak a little bit on like raising a family, running a business? I'm sure, you got the business, you got school, you got, after work with the kids and bedtime and like just a little bit about, being an entrepreneur and raising a family as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate. My wife homeschools our two children right now, so it kind of works with our schedule. I can be here till 10:30 at night, and when I go home, my kids are still up. We're kind of on a different schedule.
Sure.
So we stay up late. They'll usually stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock, and then they don't get up till, later. So I usually start my day pretty early so I can have some time before anything gets started.
Gotcha.
But for me, it's an easy balance. I come to work, I get my stuff done, I go back home, I get to hang out with my kids. The nights I work, like I said, when I get home from work, they're still up, so I still get to hang out with them.
Yeah.
We're never open on Sundays, so we have at least one full day together no matter what.
Right.
And recently I've been taking a little bit more time, on Mondays and a couple other days where I can spend some time when they need me and,
Gotcha.
Help out with school or whatever I need to do. So for me, it's all about finding a balance and having a schedule. I try to plan every day so I know what I need to get done.
Do you look at like the full week? Are you a month person, week person?
I
day
have
person?
weekly goals, daily goals,
Yeah.
monthly goals, yearly
Right.
goals. I mean, I have a binder that I constantly write in.
Yeah.
I always keep it by me just in case some idea pops in my head. I have somewhere to write it down.
Right.
But as far as schedule, I usually on Sundays I'll schedule my full week with stuff I need to get done, important things, prioritize my list. And then things pop up on a daily basis where I have meetings or podcasts or something that I want to do.
Sure.
So I'll fit those into my schedule.
Yeah.
And depending on what kind of projects we're working on, I still have time. So, I find time no matter what to do the things I need to do.
For sure.
Yeah, it gets a little overwhelming at times, but if I wasn't busy, I don't know what I'd be doing. So
Yeah.
I actually like the
get that.
busyness.
Yeah.
It keeps me focused. So
Keeps your head down.
I still have a lot of time for my family.
And you guys close, is it twice a year, the restaurant, for like a full week?
Yeah,
When
so
you
it's
guys decide
4th
to
of
do
July,
that?
we close for a week
Yeah.
every year to give my guys the time to recharge,
Right.
for me the time to recharge and
Yeah.
just relax. And then the same around Christmas time with 2 young kids. Christmas time is a wonderful time of year,
Right.
so we get to spend a lot of time with family. I get to go up and visit my family.
Gotcha.
Her family's in town, so we get to hang out with them a lot.
Right.
And to just really spend a whole week with my kids and get to
Yeah.
play with the toys and unwind and just take a little bit off my plate for a couple days.
For sure.
I don't usually take the whole week. I'm always trying to do something here to I usually just take a couple days, and that's enough for me before I start getting stir crazy and need to start doing something. So
Yeah.
that's why I always try to plan projects here, some type of renovation or
Mhm.
painting or
Right.
just getting it up to date. So
Yeah.
but yeah.
Nice, man. And then you got into a little bit of real estate. Got an Airbnb.
Yeah, fortunate for me, I own my I own my building, so
Yeah.
those have been projects too. We were able to renovate upstairs, to put a couple Airbnbs up there.
Yeah. Is
We
that
really
where
just
you-
rent them out to friends and
Friends,
family. I still got some pretty good ties to both universities, so we
Right.
use it. The coaches sometimes raffle off a couple night stays up there for their
Nice.
teams and stuff, so that's a way I can help out the university
For
still.
sure.
When my folks come, they have a place to stay. When her folks, they're actually living upstairs right now while they're building a house. So,
Okay.
it's been nice to have those spots up there
Yeah.
for people that need it. And,
For sure.
I'm not actually on the Airbnb site, but
Yeah.
we do rent them out a little bit. So,
Gotcha.
but that's been a
Alright.
fun project too, getting those up
Yeah.
and running.
Yeah.
So-
How long did it take you to was it
renovated up there?
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
you guys have to do the work and everything?
we did some renovation out there and made it a lot nicer than it was. They were apartments up there already, so
Okay.
it wasn't like a huge renovation, but
Sure.
we got it, up to date, and now it's kind of nice. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that where your studio's at for?
yeah, so
all
that's
your
where we
videos
do
and
our
stuff
videos, our cooking videos. We do up in the single bedroom
Okay.
Airbnb up there because it's got a nice kitchen. It's got
Yeah.
a pretty conducive setup
Nice.
to have filming up there. It's all pretty enclosed, so it's right there.
Right.
And that's been nice for us to do
Yeah.
some cooking videos and try to get our sauces out there a little bit.
Right. You make like different sandwiches or like
Yeah,
leftover
the premise of it
ideas
is
and
just
stuff like
leftover.
that?
Yeah, so it's called
Yeah.
Saucy Seconds. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube too. And what they do is, what I do is just take leftover meals from the night before and try to recreate something different the next day using
Yeah.
our sauces and rubs and stuff. And it's been pretty cool to come up with some different ideas
For
and
sure.
some different recipes. And hopefully, if one person uses it, it's worth it for me.
Yeah. I know I got a few good ideas going right now. I mean, like I said earlier, my favorite sauce is the kitchen sink. I think I've started off with like the honey barbecue. I was a little like worried to get the spice, and then I do like the grits, garlic parm, and then my buddy was like, bro, you got to try the kitchen sink. It's literally just all the sauces put in one. And I was like, what? That sounds crazy. And like every single time for a while I was getting it, and it was like one sauce stood out more than like the others and stuff like that. And that's what you obviously taste very consistent now, but like when it first started, I actually enjoyed, like tasting one sauce a bit stronger than like the other ones,
Yeah, I still feel that way when you taste it,
yeah.
Depending on the day of what you ate before or what
Right.
you've had for the day, you get those different tones of sauce,
For sure.
spice and sweetness and heat. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all over the place. That's what I love about that sauce. That's the one we just finished second in a big competition for the International Flavor Awards. We took second
nice.
place for that kitchen sink sauce, so that was kind of
Oh,
a big
yeah.
honor. Waiting on the ribbon to come in, and we'll do a little press release for that.
There you
but
go.
yeah, that's one of my favorite sauces. Obviously, the dry rubs.
Yeah,
Are,
I mean, everybody's got to get the
number
dry
one.
rub on the fries.
Yeah.
If you haven't, you got to, because it just is a game changer.
Cheese curds, fries,
Cheese
chips,
curd-
whatever.
oh, yeah,
you
I actually have the
mac
cheese
and
curds, too,
cheese.
for sure.
My kids won't eat mac and cheese
Without it.
without it now. We got it on some popcorn. Yeah, it's really versatile, so you can use it on a lot of different things, and that's kind of the direction we were going with that in the first place. Is just making a rub that you could keep in your cupboard and use it on
Just use
everything.
it
So
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, Chris, pleasure to have you on. Like I said in the beginning, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to sit down and have this conversation. Hope we can do it again in the
absolutely,
future.
man. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much.
Of course. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of REconnect. I hope you enjoyed this insightful conversation with Chris Chase, owner of MST Pub and Grub and MST Sauce Company, and gained valuable insight to the life of an entrepreneur expanding their brand. Until next time, keep forging your path ahead of discovery and success. Take care, everybody.